Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast, a weekly podcast all about board games and video games, the games we're playing, the games we like, a little bit about the news. This is episode number 47 of this weekly podcast. My name is David, and I'm joined, as always, by the other Super Game Brother, Super Game Bro, Devin. How are you doing today, Super Game Bro, Devin?
I'm doing fantastic. Got a lot of sleep lately.
Nice.
And man, that makes a massive difference in your life. Let me tell you.
It does.
I'm sure as a dad of 3 kids and a husband and a full-time job and all your things, it's hard to get a ton of sleep. But when you do, it's nice.
I feel like as a parent, you get to a point where you're what's the word? Just like chronically sleep deprived. And so when I do get a good night's sleep, that's like a solid 8 or 9 hours or something. I don't feel much different because I feel like I'm so far in like the sleep hole that a good night doesn't make it. I need to have like a good night every day for like a month.
Yeah.
Then I do think I would feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But
my body wants 10 hours, bro. And it's bad.
10's a lot.
It's bad. It's just like go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm not sure I'm waking up, but it feels good. It does.
It does. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're taking care of your sleep. That's a good feeling.
Oh, yeah. Did my laundry the other day. Took a shower. Can you believe it?
Wow. Those are good things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane.
You're on top of it. This adult thing, man, just you're crushing it.
Yeah.
Cool. This episode's a little bit late, just in case everybody hadn't noticed. My wife just went out of town. And I had a lot going on at work. I needed to get ready in order for me to be able to take the next week off to be with the kids, because she's going to be out for a week running a half marathon and just hanging out in Florida with her friend. So anyways, finally got her shipped off on the airplane last night. And so I was able to make time for this today after the kids went down. So it's a little bit late. Been recording for a little bit. So it's my brain hurts. But we're here, we're doing it. This episode will probably still go up, a day before public feeds on Patreon. So we're doing good stuff. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Devin, anything cool or new going on with you? We went to Topgolf on Monday. You went with me.
I did, yeah. See, at least your memory works.
Well, I've got Topgolf on the mind because I went Monday morning with you. Then I went Monday night with my group of buddies. And then with one of them who wanted some extra practice, I went again Tuesday night and Wednesday night.
Really?
So I went 4 times in 3 days. And it was great. I feel like I improved a lot, which that's a good feeling. I feel like the hard thing with golf is you don't get enough practice in a short enough time period to notice you're getting better. Unless you like really can.
I feel like most people's practice is like 1 bucket at the driving range before we play.
Mm-hmm. And then if you play like once a month, like from a month later, man, you're gonna be terrible. Or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So playing back to back days, and I feel like you can focus on certain things and start to see bits of improvement. It was cool. So
I forgot what Topgolf was like.
It was fun.
We were treated like kings over there. What would you like to drink and eat?
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to be here to take care of you if you need anything. And here's the games you can play. I was like, oh shoot, okay.
Yeah, it's a fun place. I really like it. I think I would rather have like a subscription to a golf simulator place because you just get more data like on your swing path and speeds and stuff. But there's something really fun about Topgolf and like hitting the ball and actually seeing it fly the whole distance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like less pressure. It's just fun. It's a good place. I like it. I hope that I kind of mooch off of my friend's platinum membership, and I hope to be a platinum member myself one day because that'd be fun.
Oh, heck yeah.
They do have some annoying blackout times, like Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon. You can't go. So those are pretty rough cutoff times. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you have the full day. So I don't know. It's really fun. Love golf. Super into it right now. We were hitting balls just today into a net in backyard. That net has like this kind of like nylon target thing that hangs down in front of the net, so you can like aim for specific areas on it. And that puppy's loud if you hit that bad boy with like a hard swing.
Oh, really?
I swung my driver into it like 7 times, and
oh, you're brave.
I feel like I'm really vibing with the driver right now, which is.
What did you change? Because on Monday you said you couldn't hit it.
I did. Yeah. See, that's the improvement after 3 days. I think the main thing is I've like adjusted my stance a bit. The ball should be about at the inside of your front foot. And the driver is basically the only club where you should hit the ball just after your club has bottomed out and has started going back up.
Which makes no sense because I would think it would put topspin on the ball and would cause it to drop.
Yeah, you would maybe think so, but as long as you're hitting it square, it doesn't do that. If you like hit it with like the butt, maybe it would, but and that's hard because the part that's hard for me is I feel like I'm gonna hit the ground before I like get up to it.
Yes.
So that is also a little scary too. And a few things that help with that are you kind of like lean your right shoulder back a little bit so that you're already kind of at that upward angle. And then from Bryson DeChambeau, watching some of his training videos online, the feeling that you should have is instead of it like swinging in a perfect arc, you feel like your arms are like dropping first before they go forward. So it's like drop forward and it's up, which is exactly Mary Poppins. So yeah, I've been crushing that, which has been fun. It makes a big difference. Like if your shot off the tee goes 250 yards, then like your next shot is just so much more manageable because it's like 150 foot.
Yep.
Or yard, 7-8 iron or whatever, instead of like, okay, now I've got to hit a 3-wood or a hybrid and just pray that I can hit it 250,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's been fun. I love it. Golf. So fun. It's also really fun when you can go for free and your friends are paying for everything.
Yeah. I like Topgolf. There's kind of a judgment-free zone in a way. It's more of a fun outing instead of
everybody sucks.
Like if you go bowling, you're not expecting everyone around you to be pros.
Yep.
It's just fun.
It's exactly like bowling.
But if you go specifically to a driving range, you got people thinking you might be super good, and then
that's true. Yeah.
And then you almost hit them with your ball, and they realize you're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that. There's less pressure at the Topgolf. So, yeah, man, oof! I'm so excited for golf season this year. It's gonna be fun. I've talked about golf a lot lately, though, so I'll spare you too much more golf talk. Devin, in Super Movie Brothers this week, I haven't been watching a ton, but before we talk about the TV shows I have been watching, I started watching Star Wars with my kids. I love Star Wars. Growing up, it was like very important part of my childhood, I feel like, with 4, 5, and 6 being movies we watched all the time at home. And then Phantom Menace. What's number 2 called? The Clone. What's number 2 called?
Clone Wars? Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones. There you go. And then Revenge of the Sith. Coming out while we were like teenagers.
Yeah. And
those were like fun moments as well. Even though I don't think they're quite as good as the original trilogy, they have some great moments. And then, 7, 8, and 9 coming out pretty recently and like being kind of fun at parts, but also very disappointing at parts, in my opinion. But,
I enjoyed all the new ones, to be honest.
If you can turn your brain off from like past Star Wars and just be there for the fun ride, then you can have fun.
I like that they're doing so much with Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So many branches of this story. I think their branching
stuff has been awesome. Like The Mandalorian, for example, so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in order for it to be, it's good when they can disconnect. Everything doesn't have to be about Luke. Well, I say that, and he's in the third.
Is that your
third season
gripe with Marvel? Is it's always the same people, same story?
Um,
Who are we fighting next? Do you want it to be
kind of. I don't dislike Marvel. I think it has the same flaw though, in that like a villain's never truly dead. Almost. Right? They come back like crazy. Just like in Star Wars, somehow Palpatine returned, like that famous line that everybody makes fun of from number 9. And yeah, I feel like Star Wars really didn't treat Luke and Leia very well as well in like the later on. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I love Star Wars, especially the first 6 movies.
I do too. A lot of people say Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings over Star Wars, but I almost put Star Wars higher.
Yeah, I'm Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Harry Potter. As far as movies,
love all 3 of them, to be honest. But if I had to rank them, I don't know where I'd go. I've had more goosebumps and good feelings from Star Wars as almost any of them. That just, but there's so many good moments in Lord of the Rings that you're like,
it's hard.
Am I crying?
Definitely.
And then Harry Potter has some really touching moments as well.
It's true. Those are just too short. I come in biased from the books though on Harry Potter, which is hard. Anyways, coming back full circle, I love Star Wars. Devin, I've been obsessed with this dumb video I saw on the internet of this company or YouTube channel. I think it's Elf Tail Videos or something. They, I guess, make videos. It looks like using artificial intelligence, which I'm usually not a fan of AI. But if we're going to use AI for something, I think this is hilarious. Love it.
Yeah, it's a fun way to use AI.
And they turn like important moments from movies that people love into like songs. And it's hilarious. Have you seen this video of Anakin and Obi-Wan and their famous fight from Revenge of the Sith as a musical number? Okay. For audio listeners, I hope this comes through okay. For video listeners, I am going to pull it up just because I think it's funny. We'll be giving this YouTube channel a view. I don't think they'll care, hopefully. So I'm going to switch over to the screen really quick. I'm going to swap over here. Pull this up. And then I do think I need to mute our mic so that I don't get feedback. So you probably won't be able to hear us for a second.
But enjoy this wonderful song.
But enjoy this 2.5 minutes of this weird song that I'm like currently obsessed with. So I'm going to go back, make that full screen real quick.
I don't know you anymore. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I'll never stop loving you. But you are going down a path I can't follow because of what you've done, what you plan to do. Stop now, come back, I love you. Liar! No! You're with him, you betrayed me. You brought him here to kill me. Let her go, Anakin, let her go. You turned her against me. You have done that yourself. You will not take her from me. Your anger and your lust for power have already done that. You have allowed this dark lord to twist your mind until now. Until now, you have become the very thing you swore to destroy. Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire! Don't make me kill you, Anakin. My allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over. Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, then you are lost. This is the end for you, my master. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Don't try it! You were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness. I hate you. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
All right, I think we're unmuted now. Yeah. I love that. It's been stuck in my head like all week. I've just been singing random parts from it.
That was truly amazing.
I need to watch this Lord of the Rings one now that just auto started, but man, some people are just so clever, and I think they probably had to write that song, and then they just used some like video AI to make like change the movie scenes a little bit to fit their song or whatever. If they wrote the song themselves, which I hope they did and didn't like use AI for that as well, but so cool. Just so funny. I've been seeing it all over social media right now, and I just love it. Lacey, my wife, after we watched it, she was like, wow, that like kind of slaps.
I had goosebumps at one point.
I know. It's pretty good. So it was that video that made me want to watch Star Wars again right now. So probably going to do that because of this video. But that was just kind of a silly intro to Super Movie Brothers that I just wanted to make the world aware of, because I think that is worth, being aware of. Other than that, I've been watching a couple things, Devin. Did we talk about the finale of Beast Games last week?
Yes.
We did. Okay, so I won't bring that up anymore. I did finish the first season of Severance with Lacey, and we are now all caught up on season 2. So, other than today's I guess it was yesterday's episode. I haven't watched that one because my wife was getting on her airplane, and I'm waiting for her to watch it. But I think that's the best show on TV right now. It's amazing.
Really?
It's so good. Like, it's such a simple premise, but then they take it to such cool places. I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but just if your work self could only stay at work and like can't remember anything else. So to them, like, they get in the elevator to like go home, and then whoop, they're back in the elevator the next day. It's like they lose that time like when you're sleeping. It's just great. Super good. Very well acted. I'm excited to see where the second season ends, because I think it's like on episode 7 or 8 of 9. So getting close to being at least done for season 2. I think Apple just said it's their most watched show over Ted Lasso. So
wow.
I think everybody's kind of loving it at the moment. And I'm definitely one of them. I think it was really worthwhile to rewatch the first season. You wouldn't have necessarily needed to. I think they do like a previously on or whatever and kind of recap it okay. But I just forgot how good the first season was anyway, so it was fun to rewatch. I think that's it for me though, Devin. Any movies or TV shows that you've been watching lately?
Oh, for sure. I started the new Sonic.
Oh.
We've got Nosferatu on Peacock. Sonic is on Paramount. And the new season 3 of Reacher, is on Prime.
Oh, yeah, I want to watch
Sadly, they only released 3 episodes, and then it's going to be weekly.
So many of these platforms started following Netflix, of like, we released the whole thing immediately.
Oh, I had an entire night planned. I had snacks. Episode 3 ended, and it suggested other shows to me. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think so many of them have switched now to the weekly thing. It just keeps people talking about their show for longer.
Yeah.
And so I get why they do it, but it is like disappointing.
Yeah, they're probably guaranteed. If some people subscribe to movie streaming apps for specific things, and if someone's going to do that, they're going to be forced to subscribe for multiple months now.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to do in April when The Last of Us comes back to Max.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I'll be locked into that for a couple months because I'm waiting for the other episodes. So they know what they're doing money-wise and like marketing-wise, because they're just in the news for longer. But I do the binge thing that Netflix does, though, that they're kind of committed to. It is nice when like new season drops and you're like, oh, all 10 are just here now. But at the same time, then I do feel like I watch them too quickly. Sometimes.
Oh, I know. They can come and go quick.
Whereas like if it's a week between, and you like get some time to sit and think about like each episode a little bit more. I do like that. I wish that they would do like one every other day or something. That
Yeah.
But that doesn't help their bottom line with financials as much as once a week does. So I don't think they'll ever do that. But
Sadly.
yeah.
I watched 2 other movies. One was called Don't Let Go. Super interesting. This guy kind of ends up being like a time traveler and stops the murder of his niece.
Okay.
Or that's his goal, at least. It was interesting. And then there's another new show. What was it called? On Netflix. Both of these were on Netflix. To Catch a Killer.
Okay.
It's got her in it from in Divergent.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang good, to be honest. She's very, very good at picking up clues, hints, stuff. So she's very aware. That's all I'll say. I won't spoil it, but
it was good. Worth a watch.
I was entertained by both of those movies. I don't know that they were like groundbreaking or amazing.
They were movies, not TV shows.
Yes, I almost always choose movies. I like to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Quickly.
I agree. Movies are easier. I actually watched one more. Not to cut you off. Anything else you wanted to say? Okay. I watched The Gorge with my wife a couple nights ago. I really like Miles Teller, and I like Anya Taylor-Joy. Is that her name? Anya?
Yeah.
As well. But I think I like Miles Teller more. And so with the both of them, and it kind of seemed like a fun premise, but they have to stay in these, like, what would you call that? Like a sniper, like, hideout for like a year. And there's this gorge between them. And they don't really know what they're there for. And there seems like there's some creatures down in the fog in the gorge, but cool premise. I thought some of it was visually cool. And I feel like both of them acted as good as they could in this movie, probably. I didn't love her Russian accent or whatever it was. She did an okay job with it, but I feel like just knowing that she's not Russian, like just kind of maybe that's a me thing. But I did think the writing was terrible. The dialogue, especially, was oh man, some rough dialogue in that show. I appreciate shows that have great dialogue. Severance, I think, is great dialogue. And basically every Christopher Nolan movie, I just think, has excellent dialogue. And like what your characters say to each other is so important. And even more often than not, saying something with as few words as possible and like leaving the rest to like facial expressions and eye contact and stuff. It was cheese central a bit. And so about halfway through the movie, my brain kind of turned off and I was like, we're going to finish this, but I don't really like it. I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. It was like, meh.
Yeah, I like who was in it. There were some parts where I was chuckling a little bit, just cringed slightly. I was like, oh man, no. Yeah. No. But no spoilers. I was entertained enough as well to finish it. So.
Yeah, I was as well. Like no part of it was like truly awful. And again, I thought the premise was cool. I just wish they did more with it. Yeah. I don't know. That's probably the last movie I think that we watched, though. So I think that's going to do it for our intro and Super Movie Brothers this week. There's 2 more things I wanted to just go over real quick. First up, we always do a little shout out to our Patreon. This is how we keep the lights on. Let me go back up to the screen. And yeah, our Patreon is where we post this podcast, and you can write into the show and get our episodes, as you can see here, at least 3 days early, usually, on our Patreon by supporting us over there. You can follow the Patreon completely for free, but if you do support us at different levels, you get different perks, like being able to write in, get the episodes early, name in the credits and stuff. So please check us out over there. That's patreon.com/supergamebrothers. We have all 47 of our episodes there. Also, excuse me, my voice going away for a second. We like to do giveaways from time to time. It's been a little bit since we've done one. But I wanted to do kind of a bigger one this time. So started a new giveaway. Just started today. Please join the giveaway. This giveaway is going to run through July. So it's like first half of the year, kind of. And then we'll do like a second half of the year one, I think. This one is a bit bigger than the monthly ones we've been doing. So it's going to be a board game bundle, a big box full of games. I have at least 5 that I'm going to put in there, as well as like this Pandasaurus dice tray. I think I have an open one, and I have a couple more that are sealed. So, dice tray, 5 games. If you're looking to get into board games, I think these are like good starting points. You got Disney Lorcana, which is super hot right now. Or Calcum and Kiro are both like good kind of midweight games, and then District Noir and Splitter are like pretty nice like entryweight games. I especially love District Noir. It's excellent. So cool box of games. I do think that, and those games would probably go for like $150 ish. Yeah, I don't know. If you don't want the video games, or if you're out of the country, which would make the shipping for us like very expensive, we'll probably just send you an Amazon or Steam gift card instead for $100. So, anyways, kind of a big one, a cooler, bigger giveaway. So make sure to join it. You can join it at supergamebrothers.com. Here you can also visit our Patreon. Join the giveaway right here. Pretty simple. All you have to do is basically join our email newsletter, and we don't send very many emails. It's like 1 a week. Just like, hey, these are the new videos we put up this week, kind of thing. So there is that for first half of the year. Cool. I think those were the 2 bits of, what are we calling that? Business, I guess, that we were going to get to. Yeah. So first section we always do is new games to subscription services. And we've got a few here that we're going to look at. And to be honest, I haven't looked at this first link yet, so this will be a surprise to me too.
Ooh.
But new games to Board Game Arena. They usually have at least 1 a week. They have, I think, over 1,000 games you can play on here. Love Board Game Arena. It's really great. King of Tokyo Duel, a 2-player version of King of Tokyo, just came out. What date was this? On the 21st. That was yesterday. King of Tokyo is super popular. It's kind of a Yahtzee variant as well, where you're like rolling dice to do attacks with these big monsters. This dual version, I think, just came out last year, and I don't think it's supposed to be excellent. It's like a shorter, simpler 2-player version of it. You can try that out. Let's see what else is here. A Jest of Robin Hood, which I think is a pretty complicated game. Yeah, it uses mechanisms of the Coin series, and Coin stands for something. I haven't played a game in that series, and I don't know what it stands for, but they're pretty like involved games that usually take like 3 to 7 hours or like some amount of time. This is a simpler version that uses similar mechanics. So I think that, yeah, it says here, reduce the playtime to around an hour using like similar mechanisms. I think it was supposed to be pretty good. So that's A Jest of Robinham. That's not what I say, Robinham.
Robinham. Thinking of Thanksgiving over here.
Jest of Robin Hood. And then, this one, Kato. I've never heard of this.
They threw a Simpsons character into this one too.
Yeah, why do they do that on all of it? Is there one up here?
Well, Robinham is Homer.
Where?
I'm just joking. I don't know.
That is funny because there was a Simpsons character on one just last week. Don't see one on either of those two, though. I don't know why they keep doing that, but it's kind of funny. Kato. Game consists of 12 rounds. Each player receives a new Kato card, which they can use to build their grid. Looks like you're guessing your opponent's cards and trying to get a better one than you give them. Sounds kind of interesting. I've never heard of that game before. And then Azul Duel, which I don't even think is out yet physically. I think it comes out this year. And this one came out on Valentine's Day. I might have mentioned it last week. I can't remember. And then we did mention Mythicals last week. So there's a few new games on Board Game Arena. I would check out this Robin Hood one, especially if you like coin games, but I don't know if I do. I haven't played one.
We will touch PlayStation in March, but there's a Wave 2
Yeah.
for Game Pass.
Yep.
So anybody on Game Pass, buckle up.
Yep. We got a few more games here in the second half of February. Here are the headliners. But let's go through all of them as well. So, Avowed, which I think, Devin, you've watched a bit of gameplay on that one, right?
Yeah, I've watched people stream it and they seem to enjoy it. Yeah.
It looks cool. But again, I don't have an Xbox. It probably will come to PlayStation soon, so I'm just kind of waiting on that one, see if it is a David game anyways. On the 20th, that was a couple days ago, EA Sports F1 24. I haven't played an F1 game, but they make them every year. They must be pretty popular. And Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Again, on the 20th, it's an isometric RPG. Assemble a crew, command a starship, explore the Imperium, making fateful decisions in tactical turn-based combat. You lost me there on turn-based combat. But occasionally I'll push through one of those. Watch Dogs Legion, I think, is the third Watch Dogs game on the 25th. So that's, I think, Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So look out for that. And then in case you missed it, they have some other things, an update for Sea of Thieves, Rise Son of Rome, Ark Survival, Forza Motorsport update. Anyways, I think all of those are just little add-ons. So a few more games, second half of February 2025 for Game Pass.
We got 1 or 2 for Epic Games as well.
Yeah, they have 2 this week, which is interesting. The first one is called Garden Story. Looks like it's already in my library. And it says, unify a broken community as the newly appointed guardian of the grove. Traverse a vibrant island to combat invasive rot, inspire its inhabitants, and rebuild your home. You won't have to do this alone. Fruity friends await, ready to lend a hand. Ooh, I like that pixel art, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of clean.
Kind of looks like Stardew Valley a bit. I imagine they're kind of going for a similar vibe since that game has sold like 40 million copies or something. So, anyways, Garden Story, add that to your library. And the other one is a game that I've thought about playing a few times, Devin. I think we have it on PlayStation. So I'd like to try it. But, World War Z, I think, is a multiplayer kind of zombie shooter, which I think would be pretty fun.
Has it reviewed decently?
I think it reviewed okay. You know, kind of Left 4 Dead vibes, but probably a little more jank than Left 4 Dead. But I don't know. I think that could be pretty fun. This Aftermath line, I don't think was always in the game, so it must have gotten like a big update or something. Yeah, it says it's the ultimate co-op zombie shooter and the next evolution of the original hit World War Z. Interesting. Wonder then if it's a sequel? Or it's just an addition. A new edition probably just has like all of the new content from like a big expansion or something. So add both of those to your library. Oh, that one's already in my library too. I must have done that earlier today. And then I think that's it.
That was it. Yes, we will touch on Prime Nintendo in March.
Yep. Cool. As for games we've been playing, I don't have much to say here. I played a little bit more of Tales of Iron. I'm still just trying to get through that one. It's fun. I feel like I'm at the point where I'm like, is it getting monotonous? I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm like warping around, doing the same thing over and over again, fighting different like big creatures, which are cool looking. I love the way the game looks, but I've kind of got one set of armor all the way up to level 3, so I'm like really strong, don't take a lot of damage, and I feel like I'm kind of at like not a wall as far as difficulty, because I'm starting to like trounce like the enemies I'm fighting. I'm at a wall as far as like, is this gonna like hook me enough to pull me through? But I do like it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my update there. I did play one more thing. I'm just gonna Google it real quick. I only played it for about 2 hours, so I don't have a lot to say, but I started a game last night called Killer Frequency. on PlayStation. It's on PlayStation Plus Extra, so it's just kind of included in my subscription. And you play as a radio DJ or like host who's like putting the new tracks on and like taking calls from people that call into the radio station and stuff. And it's pretty fun. You have to like manage like you like grab the vinyls, put them on, like adjust the volumes for like the vinyl or the tape player, or talk to people on the phone, and you can like choose different things to say back to them. And then somebody calls in and said they've found a dead body, and the dead body is the sheriff of the town. And so people are calling in, and you're getting like details about this serial killer and what is happening through the night, kind of secondhand from people calling in. And some people will call in multiple times, and so you've kind of got like a recurring story with them. It's kind of clever and fun. At the end of the second hour, again, I was kind of waiting for like, this is clever, I like the idea, but is there like more of a hook?
It'd be nice if you like left the studio and pursued the killer.
Yeah, maybe you do eventually.
That'd be cool.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm just gonna look up really quick while we're here. Killer frequency, how long to beat. I just want to know like how long the game is, because that will probably make a big difference in if I decide to continue. Main story 5 hours. Okay, so I'm probably getting close to halfway. Main and sides, completionist, all styles. So, anyways, that's not too bad. I might try it out. Like I said, it's included on PlayStation Plus Extra, I think, in the game catalog. So it's kind of fun if you like a serial killer vibe. But again, at least in the part I'm playing, I haven't seen him, other than in one flashback at the beginning of the game that shows you like how to pick stuff up, like the 45-second tutorial. You kind of see him for a second, which seems like it was you playing as a different character before you take over as the radio host. So cool idea. We'll see if I finish it or not. So that was kind of a curveball I just threw at you, Devin. But
no, I liked it. It doesn't look like your genre of game, so
it's definitely not, at least at this point, it's not like very scary. Like, because you're just talking to people and like tinkering with the radio station. It isn't scary, really.
Yeah.
I like halfway horror where I'm not like dreading
it's
walking
eerie
around a corner. It's eerie, but not like, wow, this is making my skin crawl.
Yeah. But we haven't been playing too much in video games. I have dabbled in the new season of Apex Legends. Just been playing ranked.
Yeah.
Hard stuck gold. The game's got issues. It seems like maybe there's some cheating going on, maybe a little bit, Ski.
Really?
Some things just don't make sense. Like,
bots and
how
stuff?
did I die that fast?
Like
I was just full health and now I'm not.
Interesting.
But super fun. They're constantly updating it. It's rumored that they are releasing a 2.0 version of the game by the end of the year.
I've heard that.
And so that could be cool, kind of a reworking of a lot of things that drive people nuts.
What are the main things that drive people nuts? Just curious.
I don't really know. I haven't played consistently enough to know what people's complaints are, but
that's just kind of the vibe you feel from others.
It's a dang good, difficult battle royale.
And it has like good movement mechanisms and aiming. Like it feels good to aim and like move and run and slide and zip line and stuff. So I think it has a good base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And shout out to Caleb. He told me I could do this podcast today if I let everyone know he has a 2.0 KD in Apex Legends. So
that is impressive. I think mine was 0.2.
Yeah, mine's like 0.4 for this season. I'm like, oh man, it's bad.
It's a hard game.
It really, really is.
Especially,
That is all for me. We did play a board game though earlier today.
We did, and we recorded it. If you want to see our playthrough, which I thought was a lot of fun, we'll talk about it a little bit more here. But I'm actually going to go down to the table. I think that would be a better way to show this. So let me do that. We'll click on table only, so you won't be able to see our faces for a minute. But that's okay. We played this game, which looks like a lot here. This is called Marvel Dice Throne Missions. Dice Throne is a game where it's kind of like a mix between zombie. Got World War
and
Z
Robinham.
between Yahtzee, excuse me, where you're rolling dice and you have up to 2 re-rolls to try and get the dice roll that you want. And then like slight card play. You have a deck of cards based on the character you choose. So in this scenario, I played as Miles Morales Spider-Man, and usually in Dice Throne, you're playing against one other person. So I'd be playing against Devin, who played as Black Widow. And then we're trying to, whoever's health goes down to 0 first loses. So you're just trying to more strategically play cards in order to like adjust the values you rolled or mess with your opponent's dice, deal damage, use your character's unique abilities. Like Spider-Man has a combo ability that will let him do a second attack immediately, or web, which makes it so you can't defend the next attack that hits you. And Black Widow is like putting bombs all over the place and likes to upgrade her board quickly, it seems. So the characters are all very different. There's like 30 something characters now. I had all of them at one point, but I've shrunk my collection a little bit on purpose. I only have the Marvel set now. So I have 8 Marvel characters. The new portion of this game is the portion up here. This is called Marvel Dice Throne Missions, and it takes what is a 1v1 primarily game and turns it into a cooperative game where me and Devin were working together. Our character pieces are up here on the board, you can see. And you move along. It's kind of a dungeon crawl, but I really appreciate 2 things about it. I think really help it, at least to hit for David, more than other dungeon crawl games have. First, it's really easy to set up. You choose a mission. There's 20 of them. So we chose this Dr. Octopus one. You unfold this trifold board, which are actually really big and look awesome. They have great artwork on them. And it has all of like the rules and everything on the board. You can see like the details about the boss fight. It has this cool crisis clock that like goes around as the time that you spend in the mission goes on. The boss's attacks, all the locations, everything's just on here, which makes it really easy to set up. All you have to do is like, it tells you, hey, put some of these tokens on these certain spots. And so you do, you put a token there. Hooray. This is side 2 of this mission. All missions have 2 sides, usually like a henchman fight where you have to like get through all the henchmen before you get to the boss fight. And on the other side, the henchmen are also pre-printed in certain locations. So again, you don't have to worry about them. You just might have to put like some health markers on them so you know how much health they have. So very easy to set up, which some of them are not. I'm thinking of games like Gloomhaven and stuff like that I've tried to get into in the past, but there's a lot of upkeep, tons of pieces and things to set up. This one also has quite a few pieces. But it's just so much easier to set up because of this system. It has one tray that you pull out, and it's already pre-assembled. And this tray has all of the status effects and tokens in it that you'll really need, other than your character, which your character also has their own unique tray, which keeps everything really organized. And this tray has like the poison and the bleed and the burn and everything, and then the health markers. And this just has a lid. Boop, put the lid on, and you put it away, and it's easy. So love that. That is very easy to set up. And then if you know how to play Dice Throne, it's very straightforward to learn this game. It's basically, I played Dice Throne like normal, but I can get some cool little perks. The attacks and defense that the character or villains can do back to me are already listed here, as opposed to like them being on another character's board. We can kind of help each other out by playing cards to help each other. And we move our characters along a board, which is different than just one-on-one fighting. But other than those differences, and like the crisis clock might do some things to you, it's really just Dice Throne, which is a system I really like. So because of that, easy to learn if you already know Dice Throne, and easy to set up. I think this will be probably my go-to dungeon crawl game. I don't know that I really need more of them, because I think this is kind of the vibe they go for, is fight lots of little stuff, then fight a big boss. If you win, cool. You might get some permanent upgrades, which this game also does with this cool perk sheet that you kind of can upgrade, get new abilities and stuff from run to run. You can raise the difficulty, it seems like. We haven't looked at that in too much detail, but I don't know. I like the system. It was fun to play. I don't know. Anything else you would want to say about it, Devin? I just kind of did an overview, but
no, it was perfect.
I really like it.
I agree. I like how easy it was to get into. I also think it's a perfect system, as most of us know rival villains. And so it's kind of fun to go, oh, who do I have?
Marvel villains.
Did I say rival?
Because of Marvel rivals.
Oh my goodness.
That makes sense.
Marvel villains. So you know the villain, and it's kind of exciting to see who you're going to fight next.
Yeah.
When I play this again, I want to use almost the most simple character on my end and see all the mechanics the dungeon can throw at me. We were able to cheese this dungeon section pretty easily by staying away, as the dungeon henchmen didn't have ranged attacks and that type of thing. I almost want to nerf myself slightly until maybe boss 2 is much harder.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's not so much of a learning point. But I really enjoyed it. It was nice to not have to go against you. We were just working together, and just an easygoing, simple game. Like, I didn't even really have to listen too much to your teach, because I had played Dice Throne before, and it just adds a couple mechanics that are easy to understand. And the big, beautiful board was so fun. When we flipped over to the boss, I was twice as excited as I was in the dungeon. I was like, okay.
And he's definitely, like, he hits harder, has more abilities, and he throws out these critical tokens that hurt you more if you're there. So, yeah, it's cool. I really, really liked it as well. Another thing I'll give it props to is in trying to stay fast, it lets the players take their turns at the same time. So, like, at the beginning of the players' turns, you move. So we can all just move basically anywhere you want, as long as there's not something blocking the path you want to go down. And if 2 players want to go to the same spot, then whoever is, like, the first player of that turn and has this token gets to, like, make the decision. But I don't think you'll usually run into that issue too much. So, and then we're both, like, taking our normal Dice Throne turns, upgrading cards, drawing, getting combat points, spending them, deciding what attacks we're going to go for, rolling our dice, and doing up to 2 re-rolls, and playing cards to maybe alter those at the same time. Because if I had to, like, wait for you and then me go, that would have made that probably not twice as long, but probably 1.5 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be a bummer, because you could even play this with 3 or 4 players, and I don't think it would add any time.
Yep.
Right?
You would just have more negative effects from the crisis clock, basically.
Yeah, more negative effects. We'd start with less health each. So I don't know. It might be a little bit harder because each character has fewer health. But then you got 4 people wailing on a mech. Yeah. So I don't know. It might make it too easy a little bit. I'm not sure. But I do like that simultaneous is cool. So probably play with somebody that you've taught Dice Throne before, just so that you don't have to, like, babysit every turn that they do. But yeah, it's really, really cool. Really like it. The Dr. Octopus mission is cool. I love Spider-Man villains, so, like, him and Green Goblin and Mysterio are all in there, and they look very cool. Some of the others I don't know as much about, but, like, Thanos, and I don't even remember Scarlet Witch, and some of the others I was aware of too, and they look cool, but some of them are very obscure. Like that weird pterodactyl Sauron dude. I've never seen him before. But anyways, really, really like it. Not usually a fan of cooperative games, not a fan of dungeon crawlers, but because this one is a Marvel universe that people generally know, and it uses such a cool and, like, tried and true Dice Throne system, I'm in. I'm down. So, anything else, Devin, that you want to say about it? I guess this is the only other thing I haven't kind of covered here. You can recruit these cool allies. They're these big tarot-sized cards that are other Marvel, like, protagonists, and then they can help you with the fights as well. We both recruited one and then never used them.
Yeah, we kind of forgot they were there.
But I think it's just because the mission was too easy for us.
Yeah, if that ended up being more difficult towards the end, I think we would have relied on allies tremendously.
Yeah, I think I would have exhausted magic and tried to get a different one. So I don't know. Maybe they'll come more into play in the next mission, because I think I was skimming the rule book while you walked downstairs for a second, Devin, and there is a pretty simple way to bump the difficulty up. And so doing that will maybe help us use the allies a little bit more, because I think they're cool looking cards, like awesome.
Yeah, same.
But we didn't ever use the ability. So anyways, just something to think about there. That's yeah. Anything else, Devin?
No, I think it's fantastic, and
Yeah,
you should
cool.
try it. If you like dice throwing, you should definitely try it.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if if you have a person that you like playing games with that doesn't like head-to-head games, I think they would like dice thrown in this system where it's not the two players against each other. It's, a bit more friendly. So very cool. Really, really enjoyed it. So that's just kind of our first thoughts of dice thrown missions. I think and hope that we'll play that one a little bit more in the future. All right. As far as what's next up, things we're excited for. Yeah, what are we looking forward to? Going back to what are we going to? Screen. For things we're looking forward to, I couldn't think of any video games I'm pumped for that are coming out soon. I feel like
about Alan Wake 2.
That one, that's a good call out, Devin. I do have it here on the document. The reason is it's half off this week.
Oh,
and I've heard so many good things about it. It's supposed to be way scarier than the first one. And it's supposed to be really, really good. So I'm thinking about getting it because I want to play it. I am nervous that having never finished the first game, I would maybe not know everything I need to. I've played a bit of it, but not the whole thing. But maybe I could Google that and see if that's important or not. I think it does look cool, and I'm kind of feeling a horror thing right now for some reason.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about Alan Wake 2. Other than that one, though, I don't know. That one came out, 6 months ago or a year ago or something, so it's not like it's brand new. Looking at OpenCritic's gaming calendar here, I don't even know that there is anything I'm super excited for. Today's the 22nd.
You could play PGA Tour. You're really into golf right now.
I am. And as a teenager, I loved golf video games. I think I have PGA Tour 2K24. So maybe I would just try that one for now instead of jumping into a new one. Just expensive. I do buy a lot of games, but I have a hard time buying a sports game that I know that I might like, but I probably won't play it to its fullest. Where I play through all the seasons and worry about stats and stuff. This game, I guess, is just a little note. Tales of the Shire, Lord of the Rings, was just delayed to, I think, July. So it's not coming out on March 25th, as you're seeing here. And other than that, there's not a ton here that's of interest to me. Assassin's Creed Shadows looks pretty cool, but I've bounced pretty hard off Assassin's Creed the last few that I've tried. So unless that one is really different and better, yeah, I don't know. Might be a little bit of a dry kind of early spring here for me. But I have so many games in the backlog that I'm sure I'll choose something to play. So anyways, as far as video games are concerned, I think that's probably it for me. I do have one board game I actually just bought. When I say that, Devin, what does David buying a board game bring to your mind?
Adult finances.
Yeah, it reminds me that I said I wasn't going to buy any games this year.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But this game is one I've thought about for a while. It's not supposed to be amazing, but it's supposed to be pretty good. It has not a great score on Board Game Geek because the rule book in the first edition was supposed to be terrible.
Oh.
And so people kind of downloaded it like crazy for a bad rule book, even though the game's supposed to be fairly fun. And they released a new version of the rule book that's supposed to be way more useful. So I need to download that and print that. But I did just buy this game. It was on Amazon for $13 and I had a gift card, so I got it for $8. So I don't feel bad for that $8 splurge. being the first board game that I've bought in 2025, I think.
Wow.
So anyways, I don't know that I'll love it, but it does have like cool pieces for being a game I got for $13-ish. Like it has these ship pieces that sit on these like transparent plastic pegs at different height levels, and you're moving around picking stuff up, and in the middle of this board is like this wind flag, and you can only move, you can't move against the wind, and if you move in the same direction as the wind, it's like free movement. And it looks better than this is like somebody's painted version. So I'm trying to show you the wind flag, but it's a cool, that sounds like a cool mechanism with like the wind adjusting in this space. So anyways, kind of excited to try that one out, but I have so many games on the board games on the backlog pile. I don't know when I'll get to it. So anyways, that's Windward.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Now to the news mini nuke.
Love it.
There's not too much.
There's not very
We
much
got 4
this week.
things.
Yeah. For video games, I think this next one is probably the biggest. Not very exciting to me necessarily, but Xbox and Microsoft just announced a new AI, like model AI tool for video games called Muse, and they released a video kind of talking about how it's planning to be used. The main things that they talk about are like it can help with development, and like if you watch the video, it'll give you like more details about it, but helping with ideation and kind of development. And then I think that because they kind of knew that people would freak out a little bit and say AI in my video game art in my video games sounds like a bummer, they also said, and it will help us bring games from the past that haven't like gotten a current version, like backwards compatible games, like forward more easily. There's been a bit of like a controversy around if that's actually true. Some people have like said, I don't think that will actually do that. I think you just wanted that news beat so that people weren't mad at your AI tool. But anyways, AI is it doesn't seem like it's going away. And so for some reason, I have like a really deep like hate for it. Probably just because I'm a little bit nervous that like it's going to take my job. And if I'm watching Star Wars 10 and made by AI, I don't think I'll really love it. I even think that video we watched at the beginning, the silly Anakin and Obi-Wan singing songs in a microphone to each other, I think the idea and the song for that came from people. They just used the AI to make the voice, like, because they probably don't have like special effects people or knowledge, and they're just like, this would be funny if we made like this video. So I don't know. AI is still like a weird thing to me that I should probably just accept that we need to like figure out good ways to use it. I don't love it in our art, especially because I think art is what makes people human. It makes more sense for it to be in like our math and in our I don't know, things that are not art. But
yeah, I used AI for a lot of Twitch emotes and things like that, and I felt like I was kind of cheating the system.
Yeah, but it's not like you were selling those for like, you know, like
You never know.
this is a famous piece of art that I made, and I'm selling it for $69.99 on the PlayStation Store. You know, so I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. But anyways, that was kind of a big deal. I don't have much more to say about it, but there is a video and some articles if you want to watch that. Next up was just kind of a little tease. It seems like Tony Hawk the game is teasing something for March 4th, 2025. They just had like a remaster collection of Pro Skater 1 and 2 come out like a year or two ago. So this being on March 4th, and everyone kind of assuming that they'll have a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 collection at some point. Everyone thinks that's what this shortly is. I really liked Tony Hawk growing up.
Same.
I don't know that that's a series I want to go back to. I think it was kind of a time and place thing. But if you like Tony Hawk, that's probably what that's going to be. All right, a couple more things here. There was a new trailer for Dune Awakening that gave the release date, which they said would be in early 2025 for PC, and then shortly after for consoles. And trailer looks cool. Again, I'm very intrigued by this game. Never played an MMO, so other than Destiny, which is only like kind of, I guess it technically is an MMO, but it's quite a bit different than like a traditional kind of MMO. I don't know that we need to watch much more of this, but it's coming to PC on May 20th. So just a few months from now. And I like the Dune universe. I think those movies are very, very well done. Probably some of the best sci-fi movies of the last decade, I would say. Anyway, so that'll be cool to see. I hope it does well, because it could be cool to kind of play, I think. Next up is a rumor. Rocksteady is a video game developer that made 3, I think, of the like best and most influential games in like the early 2010s. They made Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and Batman Arkham Knight. And so many games have copied kind of the combat system from Batman Arkham Asylum and Knight, where like you see the I'm about to attack symbols over the character's head. You've got a parry button, and you've got enemies like attacking you from all around. And I don't know why it is fun. Like even Marvel Spider-Man kind of uses that exactly the same.
Yeah, if you can really nail that combat system, it's very satisfying.
It really is, because you're watching like your one character take down like 25 enemies. That looks cool. They made what was that game called? The Justice League? No, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That we made fun of a little bit. Unalive. Anyways, that game lost Warner Brothers a lot of money, didn't review very well, and I think it kind of fell off a cliff. Nobody really played it. I think some of Rocksteady's even like head honchos have kind of left, so I don't know exactly how much of the same company they truly are. But the rumor here is, and I think Jason Schreier from Bloomberg originally reported that they were going back to a Batman game, and then a second rumor from a leaker called Lunatic Ignis is saying that they are going to be working on a Batman Beyond game, which was a very cool like cartoon series from, I don't even know when that was, when I was a pretty young kid. That I really liked like the cool vibe that Batman Beyond had. So I don't know. I would be really happy with them going back to like a Batman game, but I wonder if they're capable of a game of the same excellence. The industry has changed a bunch. It seems like a lot of their team has left, so we'll see. That would be a cool rumor to be true nonetheless. But just like Push Square, who's an excellent PlayStation website, says here, it sounds too good to be true. So we'll see. That's all for the video game news this week. I guess just one last thing I would like to say. Shuhei Yoshida is a PlayStation executive that worked for PlayStation, I think, for like 30 years. He was president of Worldwide Studios, is what they were called at that point. So he was like in charge of every Sony team, making sure that they're like hitting milestones, approving games and budgets and stuff for Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and whatever. Very, very cool guy. He just retired and left Sony, and he has been doing interviews with like tons of different like outlets and podcasts. And he's just such a cool Japanese guy that speaks very good English, that has so much knowledge, and it's been fun to listen to some of those interviews. Just lots of behind the scenes and stuff. So just a little heads up there if you want to hear a bit more about that and the last 20 years of him running PlayStation, basically. Well, not just him, but he had very important roles for those periods. I would Google Shuhei Yoshida interviews. Very cool stuff in there. All right, in board game news, just wanted to give a shout out again to Board Game Wire. They do excellent like reporting and articles over there. And I think they had an interview with the president of Arcane Wonders, who's a really good board game company. I have a couple of their games. And he talked about kind of the financials behind releasing a board game. And the quote here at the top is board games are about to get more expensive. Mostly, well, I don't even know if mostly, but partially because United States has imposed tariffs on goods from China. And basically, I don't know if all, but the majority of board games are the pieces, the cardboard, the plastic, the dice are manufactured in China and then sent overseas to, these companies like Arcane Wonders and Roxley and the OP who did Marvel Dice Thrones that we're looking at here on the table before they're sold. And so a 10% tariff currently is at least going to probably raise prices by that much and possibly more. And it's a very cool article. He kind of breaks down with some awesome examples. Like if my game costs $10 per copy to make and the freight for 10,000 copies is $1.50, my cost is like $11.50. A reasonable markup for a board game, because I guess there's more shipping and stuff to do after that point, is a 7 times, so the cost would be $80. But then they talk about how like the margins slowly like slim down and down because they want to be competitive, and so then they bump the price down more, and then the tariffs are eating into that as well. Very cool article. Just wanted to give it a shout out if you want to learn a little bit more kind of behind the scenes. It's just a great look behind the scenes. So yeah, the tariff thing, that's a thing for a smarter person than I. I do like the idea of more stuff being manufactured like in America or with other partners than just always China. But it does stink that it kind of had to come to that because it can kind of take the wind out of the sails of like companies that already have things moving and stuff. So lots of moving parts there. All right, Devin, we're almost done for today, which is kind of crazy. We're actually skipping crowdfunding corner this week. There are a few cool projects in crowdfunding, but they didn't end for like 25, 30 days. And so it didn't seem like the right time to talk about them because we usually talk about them when they're like 1 to 2 weeks from ending. So we're actually going to bail on that topic. So, Devin, I thought we'd just end by doing the game duel again.
See if we can get a little further.
Yeah, get a little further this time. We'll see if we break our record. Hopefully it saved my record in there. For our audio listeners, thanks so much for listening. We really love you. Probably end it here for you just because so much of this is on the screen and I don't think that really makes sense. But thanks for listening to the weird AI Star Wars song and for listening to us talk about Marvel Dice Throne Missions, which is a very fun cooperative game. We'll see you next week for episode 48.